Renewable energy sector is clearly in focus, right? I mean, IRDA is green financing so many of these businesses. 30% of their business goes to solar, 20% to wind. So we're going to talk about this entire pack. There's the COP28 summit that kicks off in Dubai in a couple of days from now. So, you know, we're going to, of course, focus on this, the buzzing stocks from this sector. One of them is Suzlon Energy. The stock has surged 30% in November, is up over 270% this year so far, and it's also entered the MSCI Standard Index. To discuss more on the company's business momentum, we have Girish Tanti, who's the Vice Chairman at Suzlon, and Himanshu Mody, the Chief Financial Officer at the Suzlon Group. So both gentlemen join us now. Gentlemen, morning to both of you. Girish, I want to start with you first, you know, because there is this whole COP28, this discussion on the chatter on green financing has picked up a lot as well. Are you hopeful that we can fast-track this energy transition before 2030? And what are the gaps that still exist in the system, which could perhaps be a hindrance for the, you know, in this whole transition progress?
Yeah, good morning. I think, you know, today if we see across the world, I think there is a more convergence at its peak in terms of climate change as an issue globally. And I think with that, the energy transition plans for, you know, across the world, I think the alignment between governments on setting up their green transition goals is at peak right now. We are also seeing increasingly, you know, huge amount of ESG funding that is reaching out in this space. And I think as the time is, you know, over the time, we have been seeing that the cost curve for renewable energy supply is also going down. These factors combine themselves in bringing a situation where I think transition to green energy is getting speeded up now.
We also have Himanshu Mody, who's the CFO of the company, joining us now. Himanshu, there has been a big turnaround for the company as well, right? You had that successful rights issue, you've reduced your debt, you're sitting on a very strong tendering opportunity. Your order book currently is at 1.6 gigawatts as of September. Can you tell us what is the kind of order visibility you have from here on, if you can give us the numbers, and what is the kind of revenue growth that you're looking at?
So hi, as you rightly said, we have about 1.6 gigawatts of confirmed orders with us, and that order book is likely to be executed over the next few quarters. We also have a very strong order pipeline, which we are in advanced stages of negotiation currently. Of course, I'm not at liberty to reveal numbers at this stage. You know, we will make those relevant announcements as and when we convert that pipeline into confirmed orders. But all in all, I mean, you know, the industry from tailwinds perspective looks quite promising. Having said that, yes, there are certain challenges on ground which remain with regards to project execution, power evacuation, etc. But I think those will get ironed out over a period of time. Of course, financially, you know, the company is in a very, very good shape now compared to last years. As you rightly said, we've done a good rights issue last year, followed up with the QIP, as a result of which we are sitting on a net cash of about 600 crores in the company as of 30th September. So that puts us in a good position to execute the order book that we have.
You know, morning, gentlemen. Girish and Himanshu, Prashant here. And I just want to congratulate both of you. I mean, you know, you guys have been the classic turnaround story. They say turnarounds rarely turn. But I think with the case of Suzlon, we can make an exception because, you know, it has turned on how. And it's in the right space, it's got the tailwinds, etc. Girish, but since we don't get the opportunity to speak with you very often, what's next for Suzlon? You know, the big picture story is 10 gigawatts of ordering, as Himanshu's been telling us here on the channel in our many interactions. 10 gigawatts of ordering every year, right? You know, you, before the crisis, etc., used to have a 25-30% market share of the order, or the sort of orders put out. So you probably get back to that. Is that kind of the steady state roadmap from here? We should watch out for Suzlon? Or are there other plans afoot? What's the thought process?
Yeah, hi, good morning. I think, you know, if you see today, I think, you know, with the target set for our country by our Prime Minister, a very bold target of 50% of renewables by 2030 and net zero by 2070. I think this has set out a clear roadmap for growth of renewable energy in our country. And we are seeing across the Indian inks, adoption of renewable energy in a very fast way, setting out their own renewable energy targets and net zero targets. I think with this, policy framework in place, the demand side also getting speeded up. And I think the kind of work that government is doing today on debottlenecking the implementation, be it on new grid infrastructure, policy implementation at a ground level, and all those things. I think with that we are seeing that the road to go to green for everyone is becoming much smoother on that ground. And I think we being one of the key players in this industry, we are continuously focused on our technology developments and making sure that as a country we are very well equipped. And also over the last 30 years, we've developed a very strong ecosystem across the country on developing MSME segment and making sure that we are, developing products with an Atmanirbhar focus. So Make in India is a very strong element of what we do. And I think as the markets grow, definitely, Suzlon will kind of make sure that we continue to play an important role in this.
All right. Good morning, gentlemen, and thanks so much for joining in here on CNBC TV18. Your order book is around 1.6 gigawatts. If you could tell us, by when will all of this be executed? Point number one. And point number two, the new orders that are coming in, what's the time horizon that it actually gets executed? The reason I ask you is because some part of the market is a little bit worried that the new orders that are coming in, delivery is getting pushed back a little bit. Could you clarify on that aspect?
Sure. So of the 1.6 gigawatts, in the H1 of this financial year, we did about 270 megawatts of supplies as a company. Whereas commissioning in terms of new capacity addition in the H1 was a little less than 500 megawatts. So that's about 1/3 of the capacity on the wind side that the country added in the first half. So far as the 1.6 gigawatt is concerned, the delivery schedule right now is, over the next, I would say, spread out over close to about 6 to 7 quarters. There could be, as I said, supply is the easy part. There are certain challenges that exist on the ground, but those are getting ironed out. Those may cause a few delays of few weeks here and there. But I don't think, that makes any significant difference from the project visibility. In terms of timelines, depends on the project size. Sort of a mid-scale project size could take anywhere between 18 to 24 months to execute, right from, contract signing up to commissioning. But that depends on the size of the project and the site conditions and the readiness of the power evacuation.
Okay. All right, got that. Girish, I wanted your thoughts on the divestment plans. The last time you had told us that, or your company had told us, that you've identified a few non-core assets for divestment. Just trying to understand, A, what is the kind of timeline that you're looking at for this divestment process, and what's the quantum of non-core assets that you're looking to sell?
Yeah. So, yes, we had identified a couple of non-core assets about a year back, when the balance sheet had a certain leverage on the books. Given the turnaround that we've seen financially and a robust cash position, we will be very selective on divesting the non-core assets. One of which, of course,
give us a number, the amount that you're going to divest?
Difficult for me to give you a number, but clearly, from any real estate that we have on the books, we are quite focused on monetizing those. And of course, one of our subsidiaries, we continue to keep that under our belt for a certain time because given the visibility that we are seeing in the industry and the turnaround, it becomes a core asset, and there is no compulsion from a financial perspective for the company to look at divesting those currently.
Okay. All right. Final question before I let you all go. Last time around when we quizzed you all said the company is not on the block. So that was good clarity that we got in. And now you are making moves in the right direction, whether it's with regard to reducing debt, whether it's with regard to the ramping up of the order book, or even depledging all the holding. But the promoter holding is only around 14%. Is there any plan that the promoter wants to take a bigger chunk in the company? Point number one. And what about Mr. Dilip Shanghvi's stake out there? What's the latest on that front?
Yeah, so I think, the Shanghvi family continues to remain one of the key and important shareholder of the company. And I think, as we have seen in the statement released by Mr. Dilip Shanghvi or himself, in terms of their outlook for the industry as well as the company, they continue to remain a good support to the company in the growth from here. So I think business is as usual, nothing has changed otherwise, and we continue to kind of work as a partner to grow the enterprise. So that's on track. As far as promoter holding is concerned, I think, we kind of continue to endeavor to make sure that whatever possible we can do in that space, the efforts are always there to see what we can do in that space. But no immediate plans of any change in holding structure at this point in time.
All right, Girish, great to have you with us here, and come back again. Thank you for your time. Himanshu, it's always great to speak with you. Appreciate you joining in here on CNBC TV18. Thanks very much. So, done very, very well. 50,000 crores, by the way, in market capitalization, Suzlon, after the spectacular 2023 it's had. We'll take a very quick commercial break here. Up next, we get you excerpts